Hello, this is Days. My name is Sam Bailey. Welcome back to another video on this channel for the first time in quite a while. I was just checking before recording this. I think the last video I did was the Ipswich at home game. Not the last game of the season away from home, but the home game in October or November time. It's been that long. I've taken a little bit of a break from making videos for a while. I don't think I missed much. But West Ham, I think they probably chose a good time to take a break from showing my frustrations or joy, depending on the game with West Ham, because it hasn't been a great season, has it? We survived, we finished 14th, we changed manager halfway through the season. So that was a disaster ended, and brought in Graham Potter. To say it's been better than Lopetegui in terms of the results would be going a bit too far, I think. We only won 4 or 5 games in his 15 in charge or something like that. But I think there has been some sort of signs in moments and games that perhaps Potter could be the drive for us. I understand that there hasn't been a lot in terms of results, so I don't think he's fully won it over most of the fan base yet, not me either. I'm a bit sort of on the fence still, but I think there has been just enough there so far to suggest that when he gets his own players, particularly in the midfield area, where I think since Declan Rice has left, we've been very, very, very slow and old in that area of the pitch. So I think there's enough there to say that should be get some players that are better on the ball, more like athletic, and get around the pitch better. That his 3 at the back, 4 at the back, everyone says, could work. One positive thing he has done at the Spurs is he's brought in Kyle McCauley alongside him. Kyle McCauley was with him at Brighton and Chelsea, and I believe Swansea and Ostersons as well. So he's been with Potter wherever he's gone. And a few weeks after he came in to the club appointed Kyle McCauley as, I think his job title is head of recruitment. Which obviously Edison has haven't said yet in the channel. That sort of coincided with the departure of Tim Steidten. I'm not going to get into that too much, but I think he got a little bit too much unwarranted stick from supporters. I don't think the problem was him at West Ham. I don't think he was given the tools he needed to do his job, which is why I'm not feeling much better about this new regime with Kyle McCauley either, because the one thing that Steidten could do that I'm not sure McCauley can is he can go out and get a player. There's no point in doing all the research on players or the data if you can't go out and actually get the deal done. And Steidten was perfectly able to do that. Seeing when he went over to France and pinched Estivo from Juventus because they couldn't match our bid. He went over and within the day or two he got him and brought him back to London on his private jet. So that's what Steidten to do, and you might be able to, but so far there's no evidence that Kyle McCauley can do that, which means inevitably the negotiations will land on Mr. Sullivan's doorstep, which, it's not good news. The famous William Carvalho email he sent to, was it PSG, was that, at the time? I think it was, might have been Betis, I can't remember. Yeah, but that famous email, a screenshot that went around 2 years ago of the very, let's say, unprofessional message he sent to BSU looking to buy William Tabadi. Actually, he's not a negotiator. He's not all that much about football. But hopefully, we haven't seen it yet, but hopefully Tom McCauley will be able to do that negotiation side of things. To stop us having to go through agents all the time, which Dave Sullivan does a lot as well. His crony would be Will Salthouse. He tends to look at all his clients and pick a few of them when he's in charge of a transfer window in terms of negotiations. But we have also heard that Potter and McCauley aren't a fan of buying players through agents. They don't like agents. So that would maybe give some optimism that they're going to be in charge of the negotiations set up at West Ham. But I think until we see how the transfer actually pans out, and there has been some links so far, but no real concrete interest or bids for any players as of yet. But I think we're going to see how a couple of transfers work out before we can fully decide on whether this regime is going to work or not. Because it might yet work. McCauley might be able to do the negotiations of the deals, but until we see it, I'm not sure how I can feel good about it. Because if it ends on Sullivan's or on Sullivan doing the negotiations, I can only see it end in one way, and we won't get a target. And we'll end up signing players we don't really want and players the Potter won't want, and that's not going to end well. One positive thing though about our transfer dealing so far, in terms of players leaving than coming in, it has felt quite ruthless, I think, from Potter so far. He's so long at West Ham, I felt like, and this is probably one of the reasons why we have ended up at one of the oldest teams in the Premier League. I think we've held on to players for far too long. Players like Souček, like Coufal, not so much Cresswell. Who else I think of? Perhaps a Bonner who left last summer. Held on to him for too long, because, and particularly with Dave Moyes in charge, they felt like comfort blankets of players. Like, they know what they've done a death from them. And when they're making a change, like Dave Moyes did a couple of times when he was here, when he tried to make a change to a more expansive brand of football to please the fan base, he wanted to have these wily old foxes that he could call on if need be to get us out of relegation trouble. And it's been a whole mentality from the club in the last few years. We've tried to make something new happen at the start of the season, but if it doesn't work out, we'll have these guys to call on. And it is a bit of a safety blanket, I think, a comfort blanket. But Potter is really trying to wring all that out of the club, out with the old and in with the new. Cresswell, Fabianski, Coufal and Danny Ings have all left upon their contracts expiring. Cresswell is the only one I perhaps would like to stick around, and he's been very consistent under Potter this season. He's played at the left of the back three, and when under Lopetegui and towards the end of Moyes' reign, I felt like he was getting very old and looking not really up to scratch anymore. Under Potter, he was back to his best. He was really, really solid. And I'd say he was probably in our top 3 or 4 best performers under Potter in the second half of the season. But I can't understand why they have made the decision though, because, like I said, everything old, everything new. In terms of players that we're looking to bring in this summer, the first actually, I'll touch off a bit more on the rest of the players that are likely to be up for sale this summer. There's loads of players but there's very few players that are guaranteed safe in this team. That just sort of briefly describes how big the overhaul at West Ham is going to be this summer. Jarrod Bowen, top goal scorer, and Hammer Gear, Aaron Wan-Bissaka are the only players that are untouchable, according to reports. I'll start from the back. So the Areola, there's rumours that we're looking for a new keeper, but I think the one that we should be looking for has just gone, and Preben Taylor has gone to Brentford. I'm not convinced by Ramsdale. Not because of his a record that's not relegated. I don't think that really has much of a say on him as a player, but I don't think it's what we need. We need someone who can play out from the back. Areola can't, and that was one of the main reasons why Ramsdale was replaced at Arsenal. Left back Emerson is likely to be off. We've seen a real emergence of other stars at left back this season. We'll also need someone in alongside him because there is still definitely flaws to Stars' game. But I think he can definitely be part of the first team picture next season. Sherman, I'd be surprised to see though. He's been fine, he's been pretty consistent. Hasn't been great in many games, but he's been fine. The Debo is a strange one. I was really looking forward to him when we signed him. Under Lopetegui, he was said to have fallen out with him, and he was injured for a lot of time. Under Potter, he has started the majority of games when fit, but he cannot seem to pass our back for play, which is a big worry for a centre back in a back three. And we're going to be playing 3 centre backs most games. That's not really want at all. Hopefully it's something that can be sorted out with a good pre-season. But you have to remember that it is his first year playing in the Premier League, and he has had injuries as well. But that needs to be sorted out. I think he's looked good in spells, but he's a bit rash and erratic in some of the moments. So I'm not ending my mind up on him yet, but apparently there's someone else that we're going to listen to offers for. But I would like to see him stay if he's can sort out that fitness. I do think there's a classic air to him on the ball, and he steps out well, and he is aggressive. At right back is Wan-Bissaka, so we'll need obviously someone else there to compete with him, / be a backup, because Wan-Bissaka has just been incredible for us this year. He's probably our best right back and left back, and has either been one of our most important attacking players as well. He's been incredible and fully deserved Hammer of the Year, even though Bowen is still Bowen. In midfield is really interesting. Area of the team. Alvarez, I've been really disappointed with him this season. Really poor. Not fast enough. Not good enough on the ball. I don't think he's been played in his best position most of the time under Potter. In like February, March time. He played as like an 8, which is just bonkers. He was very good under Moyes, sitting there as the shield in front of the back 4, but in a more possession-based system, I'm not convinced by him at all. So I'm happy to cash in on him. Thomas Souček. This is one of the toughest decisions in the team. Initially when I heard that Potter was happy to sell him, I was thinking, what are you doing, mate? Because Souček has been so consistent over so long at West Ham, scoring really vital goals at the winners' games at the death points. But then you see that other side of his game where he's been asked to take the ball on the half turn, which is what he's going to have to do under Potter. He can't do it all. At that time in his pitch, he played two up top in the last game of the season, by the way. They played Bowen and Fulford up top together. Midfield three of Alvarez, Ward-Prowse and Souček. And Souček kept getting the ball knocked down to him by Fulford. And they had space for the two runners either side. The chance to break a Christie, and he had got the ball, look left, look right, turn back, play back to centre back about 3 or 4 times in that first half. So while he's handling all them stuff in the box to start week in, week out for West Ham next season, I don't see it as being good option first, but I would still personally like to keep him around because, as I touched on earlier, if that season starts badly and we look like we could be in the relegation battle, which is very feasible, we were very lucky this season that the bottom 3 were so poor. But if we do look like we're in a bit of trouble next season, having someone like Thomas Souček there and ready to bang in a few goals for us is priceless. And while we could sell him, bring in money, I still would like to keep him around. It's not that he's going to be moaning about being on the bench in some games. He wants to retire at West Ham. He loves the club. So I would like to keep him around. Ward-Prowse has been a very average. Really bad long spell at Nottingham Forest. Came back. He's been decent, done the ABC, passing paper number stuff, but he's not great. He's fine, but he's another one like Souček that I would want starting for us regularly next season. Someone like Andy Irving I'd keep around, maybe long out, but we'll need a bit of cover there. And very positive. There's a very good run spell at Portsmouth last season, so he's arguably ready for some minutes in the first team and more than minutes for a real role in the first team next season. So I'll see him in pre-season. We'll also see Lewis Warford in pre-season. He may need a loan out somewhere this season, probably not ready for the first team yet. Up front, Nicholas Fulford not on the field. This is a real tricky one. Paqueta. Paqueta still has this better danger over him that hasn't been resolved yet. It's been pushed back now by another couple of months. So they clearly haven't got any concrete evidence that he's done something wrong, but yet they're still not letting him live it out. It could be a bit of a silver lining for West Ham, because until this betting thing is sorted out, no club was me and buy him. And like I've done a little bit of looking into it and reading about it, and it doesn't look like there's a lot there for them to offer in a lifeline ban or a lifetime ban for. I don't think there's enough there for anything near that sort of sentence. But they want it. They have it from the FA, and by the looks of it, they're not going to stop until they haven't found guilty. Because if they did have any sort of evidence that he is guilty, they would have had it out by now, seeing how much they seem to have against him. So if we can to better, I would love to. He's a brilliant player, classy house. Some games where he hasn't started in the latter stage of the season, I'd really missed him. And having brought him on, and until he brought him on, particularly in the Nottingham Forest game, and the last home game, we had no creativity whatsoever, no penetration, and it'd be one hell of a player to replace if we did sign. And we wouldn't get the sort of fee that we did get for something like this because of some sort of uncertainty over his future. And realistically, his performances in the last couple of years haven't been brilliant. Unfortunately, the forecourt, Mr. Forecourt, is an interesting business. I would like to keep him. I would. I don't think he can be the only striker that we have next season, or main striker we have next season. I still think that we need to bring in someone else, but I would like to have him in the squad next year. I don't think we get much back from him now. He's had 2 big injuries this season. But when he has played, I think he's very effective. He has sort of like an infectious mentality around him. Obviously we saw him crash out after the Southampton game, but I don't mind that. I don't think many West Ham fans didn't mind that at the time. So I would like to see him stay. I think we need a different type of striker to bring in with him. Maybe quicker, leaner, more of an agile man. But he'd be like a really good person to have as sort of the next Mikel Antonio. Obviously we know he's probably not going to be back playing West Ham shirt after that awful car crash before Christmas. And with him, it sounds like Antonio wants a bit too much money to West Ham and prepared to offer him. So I don't think he's going to be here next season. And I don't mind that, by the way, West Ham not offering a contract on a bigger wages than he was on before. He's clearly not going to be the same player as he was before the crash. So it'd be ludicrous to us to even keep them on the same wages and on bigger wages. So I don't mind that. He's been a brilliant player for us over a long period of time, but again, if I crash back and too far, that's just another case we have to reboot this. We can't be sentimental with the players. We need new blood. Philip Forecourt, he could be that sort of like Antonio figure. When a new striker comes in, he is the new striker time to settle in by taking the reins, scoring a few goals, and then once the new fella is ready to step in, he will. And Forecourt will be there to support him because I think he is that sort of father figure in the dressing room that I want to see outside the club. The only question is whether he'd be happy to play that sort of bit part role once a new striker comes in and settles in. And we know that he's not afraid to run his mouth when he feels like it, so that could be a bit of a concern. Because that's the last thing we want in the season. If we start bad, the pressure's on Potter, we're not playing well, we're down towards the bottom end of the table. This type of relegation battle, the last thing we want is Nicholas Forecourt running his mouth, saying that he's not happy his playing time and he wants to leave. So I think Potter will be cautious or something like that, which makes me think we might sell him if the right bid comes in. Kudus is another strange one. Last season, or season before last, under Moyes, he was absolutely unbelievable. And he has still got that. abilities, but this year, for whatever reason, there's a few reasons, he's just not been anywhere near it. I think he's a player that sort of needs to have a shot was taken off him a bit, which is why Moyes' staff is probably suited him more to play on the counter attack, but more space for him to. The start of the season and the last, which is not his position. He didn't have that big suspension for 5 games. I just started to get on a bit of a run, scoring in back-to-back games. And then the manager came in and lost his confidence. And he has had a few things going on with his national team as well, Ghana, that hasn't been difficult. He's sort of been a bit of a victim and a bit of criticism over there too, so he has lost a lot of confidence. But after the season, he's had. It's reason that the money that is talking, that some of the Saudi clubs are talking that they might bid for him, which should be all over biting the hand off for 70, 75, 80 million from a Saudi Arabian club, because after the season, he's had to get that type of money would be crazy. But there's no doubt that on his day he's a wonderful player, and he could better go to in a team and look like Real Mohammed Kudus again. But I think if he got that type of money, it'd be crazy to say no to it when we're looking for money to reinvest in the squad. So that's sort of a brief overview of the squad, where we need to strengthen. Midfield is definitely the main spot. I'd like to know a goalkeeper. We need a new striker. Couple of wing backs maybe. Carl Walker Peters keeps getting mentioned. We are going to have to make the most of the free agent market as well. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the summer. Transfer window opened yesterday for the Club World Cup. It was Thursday and 10th for a few days. I'm looking forward to it. I enjoyed the transfer window last summer, even if it gives it a bit of a false start on heading this season's going to be. It is still exciting to make moves, and some clubs have already made big moves this summer too. Trinidad down to United, Vlap down to Chelsea. I would love him at West Ham. I'm surprised he picked Chelsea actually. Yeah. Don't think it's the best move for him sitting behind Jackson at Stamford Bridge. Anyway, Tanner down to Brentford. Great signing for Brentford. Great move for Tanner. As an Irish fan too. I'm looking forward to the window. Hoping we can have a bit of excitement. Hopefully we can get a deal done fairly soon as well. Just to relieve us a bit of how the transfer deals are going to work with Power and McCauley on who's going to be in charge of the negotiations. Plenty more videos to come over the transfer window. Like and subscribe for more. I'll see you soon. Bye. Come in, right.